Good morning. I'm going to invite you all to sit down, actually. So I'm going to invite you to find a seat, sit down. No, and then not get up, see? Y'all think you know what we're doing, don't you? Not today. Glenda, would you close those doors? Glenda, would you close those doors? So, good morning. Yes. So, lots going on in the world today. Do y'all think? Yeah. So I've been giving a lot of thought to what we do here on Sunday mornings and what this is all about, this thing called, dare I say the word church. Sometimes I get yelled at when I say the word church in this sanctuary because people are like, it's not a church. I'm like, well, actually, it is a church. Don't tell that to the IRS that we're not a church. FYI. But I will say this. It's certainly not your grandmother's church, would you say? But more importantly for me at this point in my life, I kind of want to know what we're doing here. And I should be the one that wants to know this because I do it. But I really do. I want to know, why do we come here? What are we coming here for? There's been an enormous drop-off in people and church, if we were a church. There's been and I don't see it as a negative thing. There has been an interest in spirituality and a non-interest in religion. So religion has just backslid, but spirituality is on the uptake. People want to know who they are. And that's what we're all about here. We are all about helping people remember who they are, yes? So I decided I didn't want to start service, and I don't know how I want to start service anymore, or how we're going to do service, or what we're going to do. Steve Braban's like, what? I just don't know. But you know what? I like not knowing. Because if I don't know, then you don't know. And if you don't know, and I don't know, then there's more to know. Yes? Isn't that exciting? So I don't know what this is going to morph into, but I do know one thing. The things that are really succeeding in terms of bringing a fellowship of people together is experiential. We are really way past, what do you hear what I'm about to say? We are really way past people sitting down and listening to someone talk. But you're all sitting down and you're listening to me talk. But we are. We're moving past that. And certainly a lot of people don't want to do that anymore. But they do want to be touched. And you all want to be touched. And I'm kind of preaching to the choir in that you're all here. But and all of you online too, because there is the future as well. Every week so far, there have been way more people online than have been in the room. And people really want to hear this and experience this, but they like sitting at home in their pajamas with a cup of coffee or breakfast on a little tray, watching their nowadays wall show them what we're doing here. So I wanted to start today a little differently, and I'm going to invite Margaret Owens up onto the stage, please. And if you've noticed, and if you could, Thor, take down the lights a bit, just so that you can see what's behind us. So I want to start today by really experiencing what this teaching is. I want to start today by experiencing what it means to be this thing we call God, this thing we call life. And you can go even slower, Robbie. Let's take this really down low. That's great. No offense, Margaret, but this is the tempo. So we do come here to laugh, and we do come here to enjoy ourselves, and we do come here for fellowship, to reach out to one another. But most importantly, I think we come here, whether we know it or not, to tap into something we don't necessarily tap into throughout the week, all the time. But you gave yourself this hour to really calm down, quiet your mind, and step into something A little deeper. Margaret.
I want to go deeper, deeper into love. I want to go deeper, deeper into love. The heart that you gave me guides me toward the divine as I go deeper, deeper into love.
So what would it mean to go deeper into love? It would mean to love more, to send love, more love out into the world. But more importantly, to go deeper into love means that you are willing to know a part of yourself that you maybe only have been introduced to up to this point. A part of yourself that is so ready to experience more love, more joy, more creativity, more success, more prosperity. As we drop deeper and deeper into our true authentic selves, we come further out of ourselves into this world, interacting with one another from a high level of consciousness. And as you look at these beautiful landscapes, we start to realize even more how much more beautiful this world is than we've ever imagined. So just take a deep breath. You can close your eyes, you can watch the screen and see where we are. But just drop further down and just let yourself be loved.
I want to go deeper, deeper into truth. I want to go deeper, deeper into truth. The heart that you gave me guides me toward the divine as I go deeper, deeper into truth.
When we speak of truth, we're not talking about truth in the relative world. We're not talking about your truth and my truth, their truth and our truth. We're talking about something profoundly honest and real. The most important truth is that who you are is unnegotiable. You are the very presence of the divine, and you can call the divine by any name. But there is this divinity inherent in all of mankind. And so your truth and my truth have no bearing upon that whatsoever. Who you are is who I am, and who I am is who you are. One perfect truth.
I want to go deeper, deeper into service. I want to go deeper, deeper into service. The heart that you gave me guides me toward the divine as I go deeper, deeper into service.
We all know what service means, but I'd like to have it mean this today. This service. The service we celebrate every Sunday. A service we should be celebrating every day. A service that brings forth who I am in such a way that everything else just seems unimportant. Traversing this world, through this life that we are all sharing, in a way that serves not just me, but serves the world. Can you imagine how wonderful this world would be if everybody walked around in it happy? If everyone was joyful? If everyone was successful in their own right? If everyone had everything they needed? The service we'd be providing this universe would be unparalleled. That's the depth we can drop into so easily with just a breath. So take another deep breath, and when you exhale, let it all go. Everything from the past, all of it, let it go.
I want to go deeper, deeper into love. I want to go deeper, deeper into love. The heart that you gave me guides me toward the divine as I go deeper, deeper into love. I want to go deeper, deeper into love. Let me go deeper, deeper into love.
And just take a deep breath. And I'd like you to just pay attention to what you're feeling right now. How you feel right now. Where are you? Because this is where we get to begin service from today. So let's give a little thank you to Margaret Owens. So how do you all feel? Feel good, right? So why don't we spring on you our new theme for the month? Come on up, Reverend Mark Stewart. Let's give him some applause. How do you feel?
The word is blissful, and so much more. That was brilliant. That was brilliant, Margaret. I sing that song regularly, a few tones lower, a few octaves lower, but I hear your voice, and it sounds better in your voice. Thank you.
My pleasure, yeah.
Wow.
What's to come? Who knows what's to come? Maybe we'll do belly dancing next week. I don't know. We'll see what works. Yeah. Amy, you'll be on board. Yeah. So we have a brand new theme this month.
Yes, we do.
You don't have the cards today because I was late in getting them to the printer, but we'll have them next week. But in one sense, that actually worked for me too, because you don't know, maybe you know what it is, because it's not sitting on your chair and you haven't already read it. Do you know what it is?
I do know what it is.
So what is our theme for this month?
I may have the plurality wrong, but I think I got the right plurality. It is awakening.
Awakening. So why do you
Brilliant.
think I chose the word awakening during this time of year?
That's confusing to me. I would have thought, boy, that would be a really nice one for January, but he must have had a reason for this. It is an ongoing process, and now, today, when's the best time to awaken? 20 years ago. When's the second best time to awaken? Right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's the perfect time, perfect sentiment. There's just great timing. Great start.
Well, here's what I was thinking. That was good. That's a good answer. But here's what I was thinking. Every year at this time, we celebrate a number of holidays. Every single one of those holidays has inherent within them a possibility to be reborn. Every single one of them has within it the message of rebirth. You know, Jesus, you know, all of the solstice, the universe coming back, bubbling up back into life. So every year at this time, and New Year's Eve, when everybody makes all of those,
Right.
what are they called, resolutions of what they're going to do in the new year that they do for a few weeks at the beginning of the year, and then you don't remember what they were.
Hi, guys.
And so I wanted to spend a whole month focusing on this, awakening. and changing, being willing to expand. And it's one thing to be a part of a teaching. It's another thing to be a part of a movement. And I believe we are all part of a movement, not necessarily a teaching, because the teaching continues to grow and morph and change. So that's why I picked Awakening for the month of December. So what does that mean to you?
As you're saying all of this, as both of you gave that beautiful treatment, we are always in a process of awakening. Ernest Holmes references awake or awakening or awakenings about 30 times.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a lot. And I was looking at that going, wow, must be more important than I thought.
Do you know how many times he references the word church?
Probably none.
0.
Bingo. Ding, ding, ding.
Watch, you're all going to look it up. You all look it up now and go, no, it's 4 times. No, I think it's 0.
So wherever you are in your awakening, I am awake.
Where
Now,
are you Where are you in your awakening? Because that's the more important thing.
I'm on a journey. I don't have it all. And as soon as I think I have it all, I go, from here, there's more to learn. Yeah. So from here, what's my next step?
Tell them what you've been doing, because you know what? Most of them don't know that you flew to Poland. Was it Poland?
Poland.
To
Yes,
Poland,
it was Poland.
To help with animals.
No.
What did you do?
I actually
You actually helped
with
people
too.
I'm amazed.
You know, what a concept.
But you went to Poland because of the Ukraine.
I went to Poland. I had to get and help Ukraine. It is my belief that what is happening to them is not in alignment with what I want in my existence. So I went to a town, a strange little saying, a town called Przemyśl. It doesn't, actually, I'm sorry, that's how I pronounce it. That's how Google pronounces it. It's really pronounced Shimish. I know, right?
And spelled the same way.
It's spelled the same way. Przemyśl is Shimish. It was 4 kilometers from the border. I was working in the kitchen. We were fixing 10,000 meals a day. Poland, it's so weird. Poland has train tracks that are this wide. Ukraine has train tracks that are this wide. Oops, they don't match. So there's only a few ways for the Ukrainians to get out of Ukraine into Poland, and this was one of the stops. So we were feeding the people getting off the train.
Wow.
And the Polish people were so extraordinary in their open arms. World Central Kitchen. I got the idea from you. I was over there with them. I got to meet Chef Jose. Ooh, that was amazing. So that's what I was doing on that little trip.
So what's going on in the world is not... I'm just so proud of you. Really. So what's going on in the world today is not just what we're reading in the papers, because some people actually went over there to help.
There were probably 40 of us. One of the pans we would cook soup in every day, we had 10 of these things working all day, would fill the stage.
Wow.
They were so big. And Chef Jose set up this kitchen in 1 week.
Ugh.
It was like he does that. He says, let's make it happen now. There's very little between idea and do, manifestation. And the food was fantastic. We ate what we fed. And people would come up and they'd go, can we have a little food? They'd get off the train and we'd go, and this is 10 o'clock at night. Can we have a little food? It's like, you can have a lot of food. Take what you want. It's open arms. Please let us nourish you because you are us. Your heartbeat is my heartbeat. You are my neighbor. Help your neighbor. That doesn't mean the person living next door. It means...
Although you're doing that now too.
Yeah, doing that too. A lot of that too. Actually, I'm gone too much to help her all that much.
Yeah. But here's the thing about awakening in this. We need to wake up to what's happening in the world around us and not be so myopic to think that it's just where we are. It's everywhere. And it's so perfect that you are the lead prac minister today because
Thank you.
you really do show us that we can awaken to a bigger version of ourselves. And it doesn't mean every one of us has to get on a plane and fly to Poland. Although we get on a plane every year and fly to Guatemala and get out into a rainforest because to help them, I always think we're going there to help the children.
Yeah.
But no, by the time I get home, I realize that they've helped me. And so that's what this can be all about. And I honestly think that's what Ernest Holmes was all about when he got started.
I was in Poland when you were in Guatemala. And
Oh, that's
I was
right.
missing you guys. I was going, oh, I wish I could be there too. And so I was experiencing you being in Guatemala while I was in Poland.
Wow.
So thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for what you did, and all of you that went and are going.
Yes, Scott's already on it. He's already sending me
Good.
dates, so he's already on it.
Perfect.
So should we, first of all, one more time, can I get a round of applause for what this man, how he shows up in the world?
Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Take it in.
It is you. You all fuel me. I don't do this in a vacuum.
No, but you
inspire
do it
me.
in an individual's choice to do it.
Yes.
And that's the important thing. So shall we take them to our quote?
Let's do
To our
quote.
affirmation?
We're going to do our affirmation, and we're going to do so well the first time, I may have to ponder not doing it but the one time. Can we do that? We're changing things up, right?
Yeah.
We're awakening to our brilliance and doing our affirmation. So, let's...
Wait, I have an idea. I know, right? So, Emily,
Yeah.
come up here for a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, you have a microphone. Bring your mic. Bring your mic. Right between us. Read us our affirmation.
Like how I want them to read it?
No, like how it feels to you.
Okay. I am awakened to my deepest desires.
How does that feel?
It was a calmer approach.
No, good, but how does it feel, though?
Feels good.
Okay, you're good. Okay, you're good. Come on up here. Tell me your name again. Nikki.
I am awakened to my deepest desires.
How's that feel?
Amazing.
Do you know what they are? Your
Yes.
deepest desires?
Yes, I do.
Ready to wake them up?
Yeah.
Shake them up a bit?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Nikki. Okay, awesome.
Nikki?
I want one more.
I felt that one.
Yes.
I felt you.
Yes.
I felt that one. Nice.
Wait, one more. Here we go. I know you're like, really, me?
I am awakened to my deepest desires.
Brilliant.
How's that feel?
Killer.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Killer. Do you know you have an amazing speaking voice?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
Good. You should be using that. Are you doing voiceovers and stuff?
No.
There's
I'd
a-
love to.
There's a deepest desire.
Yes.
Maybe you've just awakened to it.
I am.
Don't you all think she has a
definitely-
great voice? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You're the best. Okay.
I'd like to share it with everybody.
Let's do that.
Everybody pitch in and get that sensation for you, for me, for all of us, for our world. I am awakened to my deepest desires. Nice. Very nice.
Is that good for you? Everybody good with that? Who needs
They
it?
kinda
Who
gone
needs
on
it
a
another
roll.
time?
They started slow.
Okay, some people need it another
I agree.
time.
They started a little slow. And then they
Stand
kinda
up.
got
Yeah,
on
let's
board.
all
They
stand
started
up. That's
perfect.
fine.
Let's do this.
I am awakened. I am whatever.
Yeah. All right,
Ready?
I'll do it. I'll lead you in on 3. 1, 2, 3.
I am awakened to my deepest desires. Yes, okay. Give it up for Reverend Mark
Brilliant.
Stewart.
Thank you all.
Mark. Okay. Are you ready, Ms. Owens? Okay. If you would grab your microphone stand. I hate to say that, but yeah.
Your stands.
So it is the holiday season, and because of that, the fabulous Margaret Owens is going to sing us a song. I'm switching things up, but I will always have a song. You ready?
Wait, no. Are we ready? Are we ready over there? Okay. James is switching things up, so sometimes music has to be shifted.
Thank you.
Now is the time that we gather together to share in the glory, regardless the weather be blustery and cold or sunny and pleasant. We're here in this moment, and that is the present. The season of love is year-round. It doesn't take sleigh bells or snow on the ground, just an open heart, letting your goodwill abound. The season of love is year-round. Giving of yourself is the best gift of all, regardless the hour or the date on the wall. For the light is returning and fanning the embers of a heart that's forgotten and longs to remember. The season of love is year-round. It doesn't take sleigh bells or snow on the ground, just an open heart, letting your goodwill abound. The season of love is year-round. Ring out the bells, ding dong ding. The song in my heart, sing song sing. Tell of the blessings that flow around you. Proclaim your good, and it's bound to surround you. The season of love is year-round. Doesn't take sleigh bells or snow on the ground, just an open heart, letting your goodwill abound. The season of love, love is year-round.
The season of love is year-round. You all good with that? So I thought it was important, Margaret, right, that we start the month of December in the holiday festive feeling. So I sent out a blog. How many of you read my blog this week? Good, 3 of you. Excellent. Well, in that blog, Liza, did you read it? No, you did not. Don't you lie right there in that seat. So, okay. So I wrote a blog called I'm Awake, and it was based on this trip that I took to Rochester, New York with my husband, way back when we first got together. The irony is that this morning, Kevin woke me up at 2:30 just to say goodbye because he was flying to Rochester to see his mother for Christmas. So he and his flight was, I got God knows when, but first he said, "Do you want to drive me to the airport?" And I was like, "Really?" I said, your flight's at 4 a.m. No, I'm not driving you to the airport. That's why Uber was invented, for husbands and wives that are not driving their others to the airport. So let's look at this. 25, 30 years ago probably. We've been together 34 years. So about 30, maybe 32 years ago. So we're supposed to go, I'm going to meet his parents for the first time because, well, our history of how we got together and all, his parents needed some time to adjust to his heterosexual son bringing home his husband. So so this was my trip. And we were getting up at like 3, 4 in the morning. So Kevin kept coming. He was like bustling around our New York City apartment, all excited. He's taking me home to meet his parents. And he comes back in and he's like, "James," I'm like, "I'm awake, I'm awake." And then he'd go back and do something. I go back to sleep. And it was like, "I'm awake." So I kept saying to him constantly, "No, Kevin, I'm awake." He goes, "If you are awake, get out of bed and get in the shower and put a bag together." Anyway, I spent the whole morning with that, "I'm awake, I'm awake." Even when I was in the bathroom, it was like, "No, I'm awake, I'm awake." But you know what? I wasn't awake. I wasn't awake. And it made me think, which is why I wrote the blog, about how often are we walking around in life saying, I'm awake, I'm awake. No, you're not, Blanche. You are sound asleep, but your body's walking, right? So, and here's what happened on that day. We got to the airport, and for some reason, the plane decided to depart like 5 minutes early. So it had closed the gate, and we missed the plane. Now, it wasn't my fault because the plane left early, which I made sure the airline knew that it was their fault because I was there at the time the plane should have still been boarding. So anyway, they flew us into Albany instead of Rochester, and then hired us a big town car to drive us from Albany to Rochester. And by the time we got to Rochester, his parents had another reason not to like me, which was that I made us late, which Kevin let them know instantly, that it was not his fault. So the title of my talk today is this: Am I awake yet? Am I awake yet? So this whole day for me, this whole service that we're sharing together is about, it's a come to Jesus moment to really ask ourselves, am I awake or am I not awake? Am I really awake or am I sleepwalking? Am I awake to my own thoughts, my own desires, my own heart? Am I really paying attention to what's happening in my life? You know, in classes we say, you want to know what you're thinking? Look at your life. That's what you're thinking. Whatever you are thinking shows up as your experience of life. So, you don't want to know what you're thinking? You want to know what you're thinking? Take a look. That's what you've been thinking. But then you got to back it up even further. You got to back it up and go, why do I think the things I think to create the life I'm living when I want something else? And that does take an awakening. That does take a willingness to really, really wake up and stay awake. So, I want to read you this. I have no slides today. I decided all attention should be on me. But I did. I purposely chose. I was like, you know what? I'm not doing slides today. I'm mixing everything up. You know, I get that we've been doing the slides and all, but today you get me. So, yeah. But you know what else that means? You got to listen to me, because I have a lot of things to read to you. So that means you have to listen to me, and I won't lose you as I keep talking and you're reading up there what it was. So everybody take a deep breath, because this is from John Steinbeck, who wrote East of Eden. Y'all, how many of you have seen that movie? Beautiful, great James Dean movie, East of Eden. So this is what he wrote. A kind of light spread out from her. And he's talking about the main character in the movie, in the book. A kind of light spread out from her, and everything changed color. And the world opened out. And a day was good to awaken to. And there were no limits to anything. And the people of the world were good and handsome. And I was not afraid anymore. So this is the character speaking of love. Falling in love with someone, seeing someone and just going, the world has just shifted. How many of you have ever fallen in love? Diane's like, you better raise your hand, Steve. So I'm going to assume that everyone in the room has fallen in love at some point in their life. I'd like to also know that every one of you are still in love on some level. And do you remember that moment when it really was like the clouds parted and everything was just like, I remember. I absolutely remember. I can't say this is when I fell in love with Kevin, but I do know the moment I saw him. I was sitting on the floor of a really dingy apartment in St. Louis, Missouri, where they stuck the actors. I was sitting talking to the choreographer, and from behind me, in walked this guy, and she looked up and she was like, Kevin. And I turned, I swear to God, you could probably hear the choir singing and the clouds parting. But I looked up, and here is this guy in little white shorts, really short, with these gorgeous soccer legs. and this beautiful male physique, but with all of that, these blue eyes that said nothing but kindness. And he was just, I was like, and he says, anybody want to play tennis? And I was like, I don't play tennis, but I can try. I didn't, though. And he left, and I just was like, oh my God, that's like one of the most beautiful energies I've ever experienced. She goes, yeah, his wife thinks that too. I was like, oh, okay, and moving on. Because Kevin was married at the time. But that moment, that absolute radiant moment, this is what John Steinbeck's talking about. And this is what he's talking about in terms of awakening. As he says here, and a day was good to awaken to. Those moments where your heart just flutters open, actually not because of anything you've done, just something has happened and you've gone like, oh my God, life is really good. Life really is good. You know those moments when you're just sitting in it? You're not trying to make something happen. Or I love that, I forget whose quote I read, but something about we're not in every program that's designed to make you a better person. You just know you're a better person. You don't need to go figure it out because it was figured out when it was given to you, when you began. You just keep forgetting. I don't know why I'm turning into a valley girl. You just keep forgetting. You just keep forgetting and forgetting and forgetting. And it's not about trying to learn more. It's about, ready? Remember who you are. It's about remembering, bless you, remembering more of who you are. Not trying to become more. So that's John Steinbeck, East of Eden. So he talks at the end of that quote about fear. He says, and I was not afraid anymore. One of the things I wanted to come in here today and ask you all is, what are you afraid of still? What shows up in your life that you're still afraid of? I will say, whenever, and many of you have been in classes with me for a long time, I used to say that my greatest fear was that anything would happen to any of my children, either of my children. Of course, the worst came to be, and I now know what that feels like. I know what that is to continue to grow through that. So as far as for fear for me, I don't have a lot of fear anymore. That was my biggest fear, and I have walked through that fear. So what do you fear? What are you afraid of? Because in terms of awakening, you cannot be awakened and fearsome at the same time, or fearful. They don't live in the same atmosphere. They don't live in the same quantum consciousness. Fear is a man-made emotion, something that we have concocted to live our lives from at times, unfortunately. So I want you to really pay attention this morning and just ask yourself this month, what am I afraid of? Because I want to be awakened. I want to be awakening every second to this amazing world I'm in. And fear has no place there, so I better get rid of those fears, whatever they are. Fear of getting older? Guess what? It's going to happen. You can fear it all you want. Old age is coming. I love Joyce had a shirt last night. What was that? What was that thing that someone gave her as a birthday present? It said, did you give it to her? What was the quote, Reverend Sharon? It's so weird to be the same age as old people. Yeah, I love that. And she put it on, it looked great, right? So what are you afraid of? Maybe it's just time for us to let go of our fears. So how many of you know the gentleman, Alan Watts? Yeah, I'm sure many of you know Alan Watts. Okay. Alan Watts was an Episcopal priest. Did you know that? A lot of people don't know that he was an Episcopal priest, and then he left the priesthood to become a Buddhist because he felt that that world of religion was not serving him or the people that he was supposed to be serving. So he left it behind him, and he went and studied Asian religious studies, and he studied Hinduism and Buddhism is really what worked for him. And I have a reading for you from him. And it says this. So take another deep breath. Jesus knew he was God. So wake up and find out eventually who you really are. In our culture, of course, they'll say you're crazy and you're blasphemous, and they'll either put you in jail or in a nut house, which is pretty much the same thing. However, if you wake up in India and tell your friends and relations, my goodness, I've just discovered that I'm God, they'll laugh at you and they'll say, oh, congratulations, at last you figured it out. That's where we are. And this was 50 years ago that this was written. That's where we are. So this whole idea of finding out that I am God, you know what it really requires? It really requires us understanding what God is. What is God? If God is everything that you were watching, if God is the entire universe, and it's the sea and the ocean and the trees and the dogs and the railroad tracks between Poland and Ukraine, it's all God. All of it. If it's all God, then that has to be who I am. And I am so tired of being thought of as blasphemous because I say I am God. What's even more ridiculous is to being thought of as blasphemous within the New Thought movement, who seem to have been stuck somewhere in 1920. A lot of them. Not all of them, but a lot of them. We make these boxes and we create these religions and these organizations, and then we sit inside the box forgetting that the world's moving on, buddy. Your box is obsolete. Get rid of the box. Get rid of the walls. Step outside and see what's really happening. And we are right on the precipice. So many people are saying this, and when I go back and find Alan Watts saying it I think this was I don't even remember what year it was, but when I go back and look at all of these, even Meister Eckhart, who was kicked out of the Catholic Church because he was a blasphemer, because he dared to say, between God and me, there is no between. And that's all it takes. Do you know that? All it's ever going to take any of us to live more profoundly amazing lives is that last one. Remember who you are. That's all it's going to take. You can take all of your problems, all of your issues. Anybody got issues in this room? You can take all of your problems, all of your issues, shove them aside, remember who you are, and they will disappear. Because they can't exist, Margaret. Oh, good Q&A.
I just wanted to say that remember who you are, has saved me in so many emotionally stressful...
You even have a microphone there you could have said it to.
I just want to say that in the heat of passion or discomfort and being in a place where I'm angry or grief-stricken or whatever, but mainly angry, to really being what is going on? I don't want to feel this, but I can't get to love only, and I can't forgive everything, but I can remember, if I can remember who I am, a way is made.
Yep.
So I thank you for that. It has saved my life.
That makes sense. It saved my life so often. If I remember who I am, I can't behave like this. If I remember who I am, I can't treat you that way. If I remember who I am, I can't talk to myself in a degrading manner. This week is self-esteem week in boot camp. And everyone, we're all working at it. A week with no degrading thoughts to ourselves. No self-talk that is not at the highest level. So the last quote I have is from Pema Chodron. You all know Pema Chodron. Anybody not know her? She's an amazing Buddhist monk, passed just this year. She says this: we already have everything we need. There is no need for self-improvement. How's that feel? Bonnie Schneider, you have no need for self-improvement. You're like, okay, I'm done. No need for self-improvement. She says, all these trips that we lay on ourselves, the heavy-duty fearing that we're bad and hoping that we're good, the identities that we're so dearly clinging to, the rage, the jealousy, the anger, the addictions of all kinds, never touch our basic wealth. What a great sentence. All of that stuff never touches our basic wealth. They are like clouds that temporarily block the sun. But all the time, our warmth and brilliance are right here. This is who we really are. We are one blink of an eye away from being fully awake. You, Scott Anderson, are one blink of an eye away from being fully realized. Lisa, Doug, Karina, all of us, we are one blink of an eye. I just blinked. I guess it happened. I'd say, would it be that easy? But you know what? Yes, it could be that easy. If we actually gave over to it and said, all right, enough of this stuff. I know who I am, right? I know who I am. I'm done with all the other stuff. I love that expression, though. One blink of an eye. So this month, our theme is awakening. Awakening. What do you want to awaken to? You get to decide. I mean, this is what Ernest Holmes' greatest contribution to the world was. Taking Thomas Troward and making it applicable, making us able to understand it. Because really, Ernest Holmes, this is not a new message, folks. Thomas Troward said it way before him in a very denser way. And even before him, you go back to Socrates, Plato, they've all been saying it all along the way. Jesus said it, it's done unto you as you believe. Boy, my brother, who's a minister in Jimmy Swaggart's church, he, which I can never remember the denomination, I always just say Jimmy Swaggart's church. He made me laugh when he said it the first time, but now I realize that this is one of the problems, I believe, with modern day Christianity. Whenever we talk about, and we had this big discussion, I'll say discussion one day, about God, about Jesus. And I said, well, what do you got? What? He said, it is done unto you as you believe. What do you think that means? And my brother's answer was, yeah, most of us wish he hadn't said that. That was his answer. And I love my brother, and he's doing good work for people that need his type of spirituality. But he did say that, and everyone's been saying that, and I'm saying that to myself. Ernest Holmes has said that. Mary Baker Eddy said that. Phineas Quimby said that. Emerson, Troward, all of them. Your mind. Who? Quantum physics is saying it now. Joe Dispenza is saying it now. And they're not saying anything new, folks. They're just packaging it differently. That's it. So what are we saying? Basically, we're saying we are one blink of an eye away from being fully awake. But you have to know it. Your mind has to be willing to do the work. Because everybody knows my motto, do the work, live the results. That's what we get to do. And the work isn't writing a paper, although you still have to write them if you're in my class. But the work's not writing a paper or doing a thesis or this or that or the other thing. The work is commitment. Commitment to knowing who you are. That's what I want us to awaken to this month. I want us to be committed, right, Dr. Andrea? Committed to being who we are. And that is up to you. So how invested are you at finding that one blink of an eye? That's the question today. How invested are you? How committed are you to find that one blink of an eye that will change everything for you? All of this is great. Love only, forgive everything, and remember who you are. All of it's great. They're all stepping stones. They're all part of that ladder that you climb up to love only. You forgive everything. You remember who you are, and then all of a sudden your eye blinks and you're flying. And you're off the ladder. And you're off the charts, too. So, am I awake yet? I'm pretty awake. I'm pretty awake. I'm getting more awake. I'm getting a little less sluggish. And I am awake. Are you all awake? Yes. Right. So am I awake yet? Yes. Am I awakened? I have that other blink to find, too. And I'm looking for it. And I'm looking for it wherever I can look for it, right, Dr. Tiffany? And you can trust all of the ministers at this center. We are all looking for whatever tools and things we have to bring here on a Sunday morning or on a Saturday night or a Friday night or whenever we decide to do this, we are looking for whatever we can bring forth for us all as an experiential to figure this blink of an eye out. Because as we get this figured out, we actually make that quantum leap, everything really does shift and change. And that's not being, as my husband says, hyperbolic. He says, you're so hyperbolic sometimes. Everything's fabulous. But I feel that way. And it's not hyperbolic. There is that one little moment. And you know, Rumi says it best. The breeze at dawn, you all know this, has secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep. Because that's the thing. Yeah, you're all awake, but sometimes you go back to sleep, don't you? How many of you can honestly say sometimes you go back to sleep and you forget who you are? We all do. We go back to sleep occasionally. But you know what? The best thing to do is when you see someone having fall back to sleep, just slap them. They will wake up, I promise. But I mean it metaphorically. Do not physically slap them. Yeah, don't slap her. Right? It's true. We can help one another. People tell me all the time when they think I have fallen back asleep. Do you tell your loved ones? Jose, do you tell Scott when you think he's fallen back asleep? The breeze at dawn has secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep. You must ask for what you really want. Don't go back to sleep. This month, make an investment in you. Go searching for that one blink of an eye. I know you're going to find it. So am I. And we're going to find it together. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's all take a deep breath. Margaret will need you'll need your thing again. Oh yeah, let's do that. Great. We're changing that song up too. So, go back to the top, Robbie. So, this is our giving time. I'm telling you, we're coming into the month of December. I'm just going to say it like it is, Doug. We're coming into the month of December with probably a $20,000 deficit for the whole year, which, don't gulp. I don't gulp. I'm just like, I see it, and I trust that by the end of December, we will be in the black. That's what I am knowing. So I invite you to be a part of our going into the black. And here's the other thing. Somebody said to me this morning as we were walking up the steps, and you know who you are, about how it's a very rough time right now out there. And it is, I get that. But you know what the real issue is? It may seem like a rough time out there financially, but the more we buy into the rough time out there financially, the more we are going to be financially having a rough time. I refuse to buy into the financial problems of the universe. And that's just race consciousness, not knowing who it is. So here, we need to remember who we are, and we are prosperity plus. Yes? Absolutely. So let's know this together. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of what? My spiritual center, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. Now let's know the truth about this.
I know the truth about you. I see the power within you. I know that love surrounds you. Everything is alright. I know the truth about you. I see the light within you. Just let it shine on brightly. Everything is alright. I see you dripping with abundance and ease.
Whoa.
I see you enjoying the life you lead. Faithful at work and creative at play. I see you in gratitude for every day. And I say, I know the truth about you. I see the power within you. I know that love surrounds you. truth about you. I see the power within you. I know that love surrounds you. Everything is alright. I know the truth about you. I see the light within you. Just let it shine on brightly. Everything is alright. It's alright.
It's all right. Come on,
Over
Scott,
here,
let me hear you.
right here. It's alright.
It's all right.
It's alright. Your biggest self can't be denied. You've got no place to hide because I know the truth about you. I see the power around you. I know that love surrounds you. Everything is alright. I know the truth about you. I see the light within you. Just let it shine on brightly. Everything is alright. I know the truth about you. I see the power within you. I know that love surrounds you. Everything is alright. I know the truth about you. I see the light within you. Just let it shine on brightly. Everything is alright. I know the truth about you. I see the power within you. I know that love surrounds you. Everything is alright. I know the truth about you. I see the light within you. Just let it shine on brightly. Everything is alright.
That's because Thor now has to.
Good morning. It's Sunday, November 4th, and here are your Global Truth Center announcements. Happy birthday this week to Patricia Gomovitz, Kevin Resch, Manny Tibbetts-Milner, Dylan Milne, and Judd Miller. Coming up on the calendar, our new series of accredited classes has begun. On Monday evenings, join Dr. Lori Savage at 6:30 for her class, The Mystical Universe. On Wednesday, you can participate in Dr. Eliza Marquez's class, The Energy of Choice, also at 6:30. Both classes are presented on Zoom and are a great way to end 2022 on a high note and begin 2023 with positive momentum. It's not too late to sign up for the entire 8-week class. For more info, go to the classes page, which you'll find at the top of our homepage. Save the dates of December 17th for holiday caroling at the home of Dr. James and Kevin, and on December 18th, we'll be presenting a Broadway Christmas, our traditional Christmas show featuring traditional holiday music with a Broadway flair. You can purchase your tickets now on our website on the calendar page. Finally, save the date of December 24th for our Christmas Eve candlelight celebration. You can always find out what's going on by visiting our calendar on the website. To find it easily, just use your cell phone on the QR codes you see throughout the sanctuary. Have a fantastic week, everyone.
Thank you, Thor. Dr. Eliza, I just wanted Liza to say something about her class because someone told me the other day how amazing you were on
We
Wednesday.
started this past Wednesday, and already it was like off to the races. We had such an amazing time. We did an experiential, and it's all about remember who you are, but actually seeing yourself as that person who.
I'm just loving this outfit. Don't you love this outfit?
You just tuned out.
I know, I was
whatever
like, wow.
saying. Well, that's not what happens in class. People don't tune out, just so you know. We have an amazing time. We did a wonderful experiential, which is all about remembering who you are. Yep. Because it's about bringing that energy, that choice, that energy. Everything is energy, right? Everything is energy. So the energy by which you are creating and by which you are choosing is the energy that's showing back up.
Yeah.
So really anchoring into remembering who you are so that the choices that you're making are a reflection of that.
That's excellent.
Yeah,
Good.
it's a great
Join
class,
her
so-
Wednesday nights.
Yes, Wednesday nights. You can still join in for all, the whole 7 weeks that we have left, or just drop into a class. It's worth
Great.
it.
Drop in, see what she's wearing. Okay. Oh, Broadway Christmas. So Thor says on his video that it's traditional Broadway musical. It's not traditional Broadway music, by the by. What are you laughing at?
Scott.
Upstaged by the audience. Traditional. It is music from Broadway shows from 1920 all the way through current day, because there are many Christmas tunes that came out of Broadway shows. So that's what we're going to be singing for you. Okay? That's on December 18th at 7 p.m. Please join us. The Christmas Eve candlelight service. Someone asked me, you're having a Christmas Eve service. Do we celebrate any of the other holidays? Yes. We will be doing, which really should just say a holiday candlelight service instead of Christmas Eve, because we will focus on a number of the holidays that are going on. But join us. It is such a beautiful way to start that 24 hours of Christmas Eve with the music and the candlelight, and it's just a beautiful night. And then you go into your Christmas Eve and your Christmas morning. It's just a great way to start that. Okay. Membership. Eric, do you want to come up and talk about membership? Yes, you do. You got to say something. You're head of membership. Yeah, you still are.
I didn't realize. Hi, everyone.
Yes, he did. We talked about it last week. Go ahead.
So, well, I always think I should say something for the uninitiated or the fairly new people that membership for us here means an annual recommitment to, I want to be a member here. And for us, that includes a commitment to a predicted amount of that you'll be giving, tithing, sharing over the course of the next year, which helps us plan our budget and which is really necessary for us to be able to budget. And something like 90% of our contribution income every year comes from people that have done that, as opposed to people that are non-members and just put random money in the basket, right. Because the members are giving money in accordance with what they have pledged or planned to give.
And so many of the members now give money automatically. It comes in every single week, whether they're here or not, which is really important to us. That's why it's so important that we do this membership drive. But tell them why you joined GTC, Eric. Because you've been at every church in the world because you follow Margaret around and she sings everywhere.
Well, I met Margaret at a different church that was also in North Hollywood at the same time yours was in North Hollywood.
Yes.
And I used to, after I met Margaret, because I was on the board at that church and was very involved there and taking classes and stuff. And then once I met her, I threw that all out the window and just started going with her wherever she sang on a Sunday. And she has a circuit of, dozens of.
Oh, so you two met at church?
We met at church on a Sunday where actually I had been asked to get up and talk in a membership drive.
And she saw you.
She was a singer that day. Her first time singing there. Yeah, so.
Wow. It's all unfolding in my head now.
Yeah, October 2005. Okay. So then I started, you asked, so you're getting the whole story now.
Good, yeah.
So then that day, I called, no. So anyway, I started going with her every Sunday. I would be like her roadie and set up her table. And there was a whole number of churches on the circuit, but one of them eventually, because it took a long time for her to get
to me. I know.
Yeah. And
I'm making up for it now.
Yeah. Eventually, she was honored to get to sing at James Mellon's church, and I would come when it was, and we were both like, if we were going to settle down and just go to one church, this would be the one. And then eventually, I don't know how it happened exactly, but we took three of our four kids who were teens then to come on a Sunday, and they went up and hung out with the teens in the teen group, and then they were like, we want to come back next week. And I was like, they never said that before. But I also wanted to come back next week, so ever since she's been on her own, and I've been here for like 10 years.
Thank you for that. I really appreciate.
That's the answer you were looking for.
That's the perfect answer. No, that's good. So we are in the membership drive. If you are a member, just check in with Brent. Oh, I want to talk about that for a second too. Check in with Brent, and he will just tell you if you have to change anything, your address, your phone number, if you want to double the amount you gave from last year, whatever you need to do, just call Brent and do it. And if you're a new member, please call the office as well, speak to Brent, and then I will call you personally and talk to you about it. So there you go. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate it. Can I have my mic back? Okay. Reverend Dr. Karen, would you come up here for 1 second, please? And then I promise we're done. I was so today like, I'm going to get this whole time together in 1 hour. 1 hour, 6 minutes, not bad. So a little hand for back from Antarctica. Oh, you can have that. I have another mic. Okay. So just so that everybody knows, and we announce it here, Reverend Dr. Karen Oxrider has stepped down from her position as the executive director of the center. She is still the assistant minister of the center. She still runs practitioners. But in your own words, just explain. Tell them.
Okay.
which is good.
First, I want to say thank you to everyone for, and you, Dr. James, for an amazing opportunity these past 2 years of working closely. I had no idea all the lessons that I would learn and hugs and friendships I would even dive in deeper serving in the executive director role. It was a very difficult decision for me, but as Dr. James and I have talked about, what I have become awakened to is the need to spend time with my parents. I'll be quite honest. And at this point in their life, I want to be more involved in their care, and that's really where I'm at. And I'll still be here.
Oh.
You can still just know and trust that. And this place is my home and has been for Brad and I for the past 20 years. So I'm not going anywhere. I'm just shifting my focus at the moment.
And can I say that while this is a bittersweet moment in our history here, Karen's teaching us all what it really means to be awakened, to really see what's necessary and what is mine to do. And what's yours to do is to be with your beautiful parents and make sure that their third act plays out perfectly.
Yes.
So I'm just in such amazement and awe, and I have such deep respect and love for you, and I want to say thank you for all that you've brought us to, and now we will take that and go even further.
Absolutely.
So Reverend Dr. Karen Outsider.
Thank you.
I love you. Take your... All right, let's take a deep breath. You guys can come up. So, thank you. Thank you for being here today, for allowing us to walk maybe a new path, create a new journey for all of us. If anything has come up for you today, you can certainly see one of our practitioners either in the meditation room here, which will be, who's in the meditation room? Diane will be in the meditation room, and who is the other one? Becky will be downstairs in my office. So just drop in. Who knows? Maybe if you drop in, maybe that little blink of an eye will happen. Never know. So I know that this service did what it needed to do. It just did what it wanted to do. And that every single person here or online or ever watches this benefits from knowing the truth. That right where I am, God is. So I invite you all to stand. As time has unfolded me, it has revealed to me life's nothing less than sublime. With every step I take, every last breath I make, may I be gentle and kind. Love, I invite you to open up this heart of mine. Love, cover me, light every darkness. Love, cover me, right every wrong. Cause me to see love over hatred. Guide me to be faithful and strong. Love, cover me. Love, cover me. Kindness wash over me. Make me a symphony. Play every note you can find. Make me reverberate gently slowly deactivate, slowly flow out of my mind. Find me a melody, dance and let my anthem be. Join us, love cover me, love cover me, light every darkness, love cover me, right every wrong, cause me to see love over hatred, guide me to be faithful and strong, love cover me, love cover me, love cover me. Cover me. Okay, now, one word. That's all you gotta sing. Ready? Love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. And let me hear you, everybody. Really loud, Dr. Tiffany. Love, 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 love. Come on, everybody. Sing it out. Have a great Sunday, everybody.